Namaskaram. In this video, we are going to talk about the center-state relationships. This is the second video in this unit. And in this video, we are going to talk about the administrative relationships that exist between the center and the state in a democratic government. Administrative relations in India refer to the interactions and dynamics between the central government and the state governments in the implementation and administration of laws and policies. Let us look into this matter in a little detail. These are the buildings that we have. The first one is in Mumbai, the second one is in Nagpur. The administrative relations in India refer to the interactions and dynamics between the central government and the state governments for implementing the administration of laws and policies. These relations are crucial for maintaining the federal structure of governance and ensuring effective public administration across the country. In some of the states, the legislature shall consist of two houses, namely the Legislative Assembly and the Legislative Council, while in the rest there shall be only one house, namely the Legislative Assembly, commonly called as Assembly. Vidhan Sabha, which is called as the Legislative Assembly, is the lower house of the state legislature in India. It is like the Lok Sabha, which is directly elected by the people, whereas the second one, which is similar to that of Rajya Sabha, is called as Vidhan Parishad. Vidhan Parishad is called as Legislative Council. One is called as Legislative Assembly, which is the lower house and is directly elected by the people, whereas Legislative Council is the upper house, as we have Rajya Sabha in the Indian Parliament at the center. Now, Legislative Council, which is the upper house, has its members elected by various constituencies or appointed. The states having two houses are only 6 in India: Bihar, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and Uttar Pradesh. The seat of the Vidhan Parishad is situated in the Nariman Point area of South Mumbai in the capital city of Mumbai. The budget session and the monsoon sessions are convened in Mumbai, whereas the winter session is convened in the auxiliary capital, which is at Nagpur. In the pictures, the first one is in Mumbai, the second one is in Nagpur. When you look at the constitutional framework, the Indian Constitution provides a framework for administrative relations, defining the roles, responsibilities, and powers of both the central and the state governments. This constitutional framework ensures in two different ways. Number one, the distribution of powers. Number two, administrative autonomy. When we talk about the distribution of powers of the union government, the central government is responsible for matters enumerated in the union list and has powers to legislate on the concurrent list subjects as well. Whereas the power in the state governments manage matters in the state list and maybe also have the authority over the concurrent list subjects. So for the concurrent list subjects, both the state as well as the central governments are responsible for. Whereas for the union list, the union government is responsible. For the state list, the state government is responsible. When we talk about the administrative autonomy, states have the autonomy to administer their own laws and policies independently. But they are subject to the constitution and can be guided by the center in certain areas, particularly during the emergencies. Otherwise, the states have an authority of their own. They have an autonomy to administer their own laws and policies in the state. As we have the president, who is the highest authority of the Indian Parliament, in the state assembly, we have governor, who is the highest authority. When we talk about the role of the governor serves as the representative of the President of India in each state and plays a very significant role in administrative relations between the center as well as the states. The governor has 3 important functions. Number 1, executive powers. Number 2, legislative powers. And number 3, discretionary powers. Talking about the executive powers, The governor appoints the chief minister and other ministers of the state, who are responsible for the administration of the entire state. Talking about the legislative powers of the governor, it is the governor who summons and prorogues the state legislature and gives assent to the bills passed by it by signing on it. Once the governor signs the bill, it becomes a law in the state. This power is exactly like the power of the president in the parliament. The president also summons and prorogues the parliament. The governor summons and prorogues the state legislature. It is the president's signature with the help of which the bill becomes a law in the parliament at the center, and it is with the governor's signature that the bill becomes a law in the state legislature. Talking about the discretionary powers of the governor, in certain situations, the governor can act independently, especially when there is a constitutional crisis or the government loses its majority in the legislature. This function, discretionary power, also is similar to that of the power that the president in parliament. So almost the governor serves as a representative of the president of India in each state and has equal role to play and a significant role in administrative relations between the center and state. When you talk about the center-state cooperation, we can divide it into two types. Interstate Council, which is established to see to the cooperation between state and center, and the guidelines and directives that are given in the Indian Constitution. The Interstate Council is established under Article 263 of the Constitution. The Interstate Council facilitates discussions and cooperation between the center and the states on various issues, including policy matters and administrative cooperation. And when we talk about the guidelines and directives, the central government may issue guidelines and directives to states for the effective implementation of central schemes and policies, though the states are not legally bound to follow them. The central government only suggests. It is up to the state government whether to implement it or not, or how to implement. The administrative machinery that is there in India is with the help of three things. One is the central civil services, the second is the state civil services, and the third is All India civil services. As we could see, the central civil services is UPSC and the related exams that is conducted by the union government. The state civil services examinations in Maharashtra at least are like NPSC, which is conducted by the Maharashtra government. And All India services are there like police and IAS and so on and so forth. The central government employs civil servants who serve in various ministries and departments, implementing policies and programs at the national level. Whereas each state has its own civil services, which are responsible for implementing state laws and policies. State civil servants are appointed and governed by the state regulations. And All India services like the Indian Administrative Service IAS, the Indian Police Service IPS, and the Indian Forest Service IFS are all India services, and they can be transferred, they can be posted anywhere across the country. This can be employed by both state as well as center. These officers play a very key role in administration and policy implementation at both the levels, center as well as state. So you have some special central civil services, which the central government employs, the special state civil services, which the state government employs, and All India services like IAS, IPS, and IFS. The candidates that are selected through these examinations are employed by both center as well as the state for the effective implementation of the policies in center as well as state. Financial relations, and when we talk about this, there are two important financial relations between the center and the state. One is the fiscal responsibility and the other is the conditional grants. Fiscal responsibility would mean the Constitution provides for financial relations between the center and the states, including the distribution of tax revenues and grants and aid. The Finance Commission is constituted every 5 years to recommend the distribution of taxes and address the financial needs of individual states. When we talk about the conditional grants, the center may provide grants to certain states for specific projects or specific initiatives, often imposing conditions on the utilization of funds. The legislative relations and the administrative powers between center and state could be discussed in terms of delegated legislation and administrative accountability. The delegated legislation is between the central and the state legislatures, which may delegate certain powers to administrative authorities, allowing for the formulation of rules and regulations for the implementation of laws, both at the center and the state. And the administrative accountability talks about the administrative actions of both center and the state, which are the subject to the judicial review, ensuring that executive actions comply with constitutional and legal reforms. There are a number of challenges while implementing policies, especially the administrative policies between the center and the state, in spite of the fact that the Constitution has given fixed rules to both. One of the most interesting challenges on administrative relations between center and state is centralization of power. Ultimately, the center is the authority and it imposes the rules on the states. There could be some political conflicts between the center and the state also, with the help of which the administrative relations may not be very cordial. And in the implementation of different policies that are made by central government, maybe in the states, if the government is of a different party, many a times it becomes very difficult to implement the policies. NEP 2020 is one such. In the BJP ruled governments in the states, the implementation of NEP 2020 is little smoother and faster. Whereas in those states which are not ruled by the central government, obviously there are many challenges, even in the implementation of NEP 2020 at different levels, schools as well as colleges. So, the very first of it is centralization of power. There are concerns regarding the centralization of administrative power, where the central government may exert undue influence over the state administration, especially during the emergency times. Talking about the political conflicts, the political dynamics between the ruling party at the center and the opposition parties in the states can lead to conflicts and affect cooperative governance. This happens almost all the times if the center has got a different party and the state has got a different party. Disparities in resources and capacities among states also can create challenges in the uniform implementation of central schemes and policies, and implementation of NEP 2020 is the best example for this. So, in conclusion, we can say that administrative relations in India are essential for the effective functioning of the federal structure, ensuring that laws and policies are implemented efficiently at both the central as well as the state levels. The constitutional framework definitely provides a basis for cooperation and coordination, but challenges persist that require ongoing dialogue and collaboration between center and states. There is a necessity for the strengthening of administrative relations between center and state. It is vital for enhancing governance, promoting accountability, and addressing the diverse needs of the population across the country. For the overall efficient administrative implementation and enhancing governance, there should be a cordial relationship between the center as well as the state. Otherwise, the entire administration collapses. Don't you think so? Thank you very much for being a part of this video. See you in the next video. Bye for now. Namaskaram.